Religious arrogance will make us unrighteous. That's what the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector is about. And you may be watching this video thinking to yourself, I'm not really religiously arrogant. I don't need to keep watching. But not so fast. Maybe you should keep watching and this parable will make you ask some questions. You're welcome. This parable involves a Pharisee and a tax collector, and its brilliance lies on the fact that Jesus sets a social preconception on its head. Pharisees were widely respected for their piety, and this is further enforced by the Pharisee's prayer in which he says, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even this tax collector. I fast twice a week, I give a tenth of all my income. By the religious standards of the time, the Pharisee does all of the things that a pious person would have been expected to do. And yet, it is a tax collector who's declared justified in the story. This would have been super surprising to Jesus' audience because to many of them, tax collectors were not even considered practicing Jews and far away from God's grace. The crucial difference between the two men is that the Pharisee comes to the temple with religious arrogance, trying to justify himself with his religious practice. The tax collector, however, comes to the temple in humility, begging for God's mercy, and it is he who ultimately is exalted. Now, you may be watching this, and especially if you come from a Protestant tradition, you may be telling yourself, man, I'm not religiously arrogant. I don't rely on my religious practice the way that the Pharisee did. But not so fast. The reality is that even though we don't put as much weight on our religious practice, we have developed our own kind of religiosity. A religiosity that is based on believing in God, Jesus, and the scriptures. A religiosity that is based on believing the right thing. And under that paradigm, we could very well replace the Pharisee's prayer with our own, in which we would say, thank you, God, that I am not like other people. Thieves, rogues, adulterers, or even like those atheists. I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and the Bible. The audience for this parable is super well defined. Jesus was talking to those who trusted in themselves to be righteous and regarded others with contempt. That can be us, even with our emphasis on believing the right things. And this parable is meant to make us wonder whether we think we're good and walk around looking down on others, or if we're going to humble ourselves before God and put ourselves at His mercy. And if by now you're doing that very thing, then that's good because this parable is doing its job and you're not alone. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's edifying, convicting, and it's helping you understand the Bible better. If you like what I'm doing around here, please give me a like and also share this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. Before I go, I will say this is now the 24th video that we made about the parables of Jesus, and you can go watch the rest of them on the playlist somewhere around here. I never know where it's supposed to go. I apologize. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.